Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Before we dive into this week's technical analysis, just want to thank everyone who's taken part in the Power Ledger ICO today. Really exciting to see a quality Australian company mixing renewable energy with the blockchain. So that's taken up a lot of my time today, helping you guys participate in their first ICO and obviously close to home for us here in Australia. So well done, guys. So on the Bitcoin chart here, last week we were looking at these cycle brackets to play out, and we did say we needed to take a breather before we could get another push up. And sure enough, we did get that here. Is that we see this bracket pushing down, and then we get the next bracket pushing up, and we have had a bit of a push up there, but we're still looking at this same um, pennant or triangle. And I'll just switch over to the 4-hour chart there, but last week we were talking about how we've just been unable to close above this sort of 44.30 mark on the 4-hour chart. We've banged our head up against here about 6 times now, okay? So it's good that we are still in this uptrend. And I mean, if anything, this pattern is still getting stronger, and this is even starting to form a bit of a cup and maybe a little handle here, which would give us that launch pad, okay, to maybe finally be able to break out to new all-time highs. And I did send a message out to members saying that for the first time since 2013, I have sold a large percentage of my Bitcoin because the SegWit 2x headlines are starting to worry me a little bit, and I'm happy to move a bit of that money to the sidelines for the time being. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to trade a breakout if we get one more push up. But for me, okay, healthy, consolidating at a really high fib level here, a couple of nice bounces off this high fib level. But I really want to see those SegWit 2x issues cleared up before we get back in and resume that long-term uptrend, okay? And obviously we know that's coming in November. So for now, we're just looking to see if we can break out to new highs or whether or not we're going to get this bracket pushed down over the next week. So onto Ethereum. This is on the 4-hour chart, and last week I spoke about how I really thought that we had a strong chance to break to the upside, and sure enough, that's exactly what we got. And members know that we'd been accumulating Ethereum all the way under 300 here, and we had a nice trade and we locked in some profits up here. So I was surprised that it did drop back so sharply, but again, we've hit this longer term uptrend line, and it has had a nice bounce off there and continued up. So again, we're getting to a really important point here with technically looking very strong. And again, this coming week, I'd see no reason why we can't continue to the upside. And maybe on the daily chart, we get a little bit of resistance around these areas where we've had a bit of volume traded around 360. But I mean, really, once we're through there, there's not much resistance all the way up to $400, okay, and then the all-time high is only left in our sights. So those two brackets pushing up were what we were looking for to get some strength last week, and that's exactly how it's played out. No minimal pullback from that little bracket there, which is again another good sign. And maybe this has another really strong week, and then we start to look for it to have a bit of a breather. And they're building a base each time, and we have these stair steps up, little breather with these cycles, and it just technically makes the pattern stronger for the next leg higher. So again, consolidating at that higher fib level from the most recent correction to the most recent high, all bullish signs. So next up, Litecoin, just this beautiful stair-step pattern, just following these brackets, like I just spoke about, just strengthening the pattern. Obviously some good fundamental news. We get a nice big candle on decent volume. But this long-term uptrend that we lost, okay, we've now regained that. And I said to you guys, I'd drawn a second trend line for the wicks rather than the daily closes, and we never got below that. But now we're back above that long-term trend line, and it's starting to act as support, which again is a really strong sign. So maybe we have a bit more upside here. Retest that all-time high, take a bit of a breather as this bracket cools off, and then we get that big push higher. That's on the 29th of August if these brackets hold true, and that could give us the power to burst through. And once we're in that blue sky breakout with no overhead resistance, and we're coming off a chart and pattern that's so strong, okay, this sort of move here that we've seen from 37 to 57, there's no reason we can't have another $20 move, which would get Litecoin up into the $70 range. So that's what I'll be looking at for Litecoin. Neo last week, we spoke about how we thought it could break to the upside and have one more sort of push higher before we need to take a breather with these brackets, and we did break to the upside. We have had a bit of a breather. I'll just zoom into that 4-hour chart. We again down trend line, so it was able to get a bit of a burst, but nothing compared to previous sort of volume and power of the move. So again, there was a lot of hype around Neo. Maybe that's cooling off a bit. The focus can't always remain on one coin. So let's see if this down trend line is the next thing that I'll be looking at to start to form some higher highs and higher lows. But again, in the longer scheme of things, we haven't given all that rally back since we had the huge move. So we're still consolidating. I'd be more worried if we break below the 50% fib there, and that I'd be worried the weakness could continue for the length of this bracket, which is out to the 9th of September before we can have another decent push up on Neo. So Bitcoin Cash, been a lot of talk about this recently. Okay, so the mining difficulty has been adjusting, making it more profitable to mine, and miners are switching to and from different coins. Okay, so watch that hash power and the difficulty. But again, I think for the time being, we're in a downtrend and pretty clear here. We've given back a lot of that move. So normally, the 50% fib, the higher the better, basically when retracing. But now we've given back that 50% fib. This is probably the last fib level that I look to hold for the bull trend to stay intact. And we've had a couple of near touches there. So that wouldn't be good to lose that level there around 555. I'll be looking for, there's not a lot of support all the way down to 440 if we lose that. So that's what I'll be keeping an eye on for Bitcoin Cash. And finally, I just want to mention OMG, one of my favorite coins fundamentally. And please watch my fundamental analysis videos if you haven't already. I've covered a lot of these coins, and this chart is just so strong from the breakout. Just beautiful stair step up. I haven't got any cycle brackets on here. They rely on identifying flows of money over longer periods of time, and this coin's only been around for a few weeks. So a bit of an uptrend that I'm looking here with a few touches, and we're just consolidating at such a high level. Again, really bullish stuff. That all-time high right in our sights, and would not surprise me to see OMG break out to new all-time highs this week. So again, guys, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, share around. I'm really trying to pour more time into this than ever, and I have started to cut my hours back from my other commitments so I can focus on this full time for you guys in the future. So thanks to all my paid members. I have got hundreds of emails and messages I'm sorting through. So guys, please follow the steps in the link below if you do want to join my paid members page. And send me a screenshot once you have made payment. So as always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers.